It'll be okay.
Is the doctor nice to me?
Yes, the doctor will be nice.
But it's so dark out there and I can't even see our car.
Hang on.
Okay.
Go, hold.
Okay. Oh, keep cold.
Damn humidity. Mother, come on. We don't want to have to take both of them. Jesus Christ, this humidity. Mother, I swear.
Let's go! Mom asked.
Mommy is Laura to answer her phone.
What did ask me to go to the doctor on? The fresh air. Can I have air? Please, Mommy. That's what I'm
Please leave your message for...
Oh my God, Mother, that kind of means pick up the phone.
Trunk has a TV.
I don't know what to do with Ashlyn, dude.
Mommy. What? No.
Hello?
Is anyone at your grandma's house going to be awake right now?
I have no idea why.
Mom's not answering me and I have to take London to the ER.
Why?
They told me that I need to take her to be evaluated.
God damn it.
And she won't fucking answer the phone. I don't know what to do with Ashlyn.
Fuck. Mom's gonna be asleep, I think. I can try calling her.
I'll keep trying, Mom, but I'm not trying to waste time driving around.
Hang on.
Jesus Christ.
What? Programmed, obviously.
Huh?
I don't have your number programmed for my phone breaking, obviously.
Well, I tried calling you on Facebook first.
I'm trying to open that and see what that was.
I have to take London to the ER and I need something to do with Ashlyn.
Well, what's wrong with London?
Her mouth is purple and the nurse line told me to take her to the ER.
Like, why is it purple?
I don't know.
I mean, you're sure she can get into something purple?
It's like coming and going. It's not a stain. And I've wiped her mouth and stuff.
I mean, I have the finger oxygen thing that we bought for Jax.
I explained to the nurse line, like, she's got the purple lips and then she's got like a rash around it. It's one of those rashes that don't turn white with pressure or whatever that they tell you to watch out for, so.
I don't understand what they're gonna do other than like hook her up to a breathing machine and check out her breathing and put a thing on her finger and check her oxygen levels.
I mean, oxygen levels are kind of important, Christopher, so yeah, checking her oxygen levels is what they need to do.
I get that, but I don't understand how it just randomly happened. Like, what could cause that?
I don't either. I mean, the purpleness, like, at first it was really purple, and then it went away, and I was like, maybe I'm crazy, but then it came back, and I was like, well, obviously it's not a stain or a bruise, because that wouldn't fade back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like as if she had suctioned something to her mouth, because it was, like, purple and had, like, all the little tiny spots, like as if it was a hickey. But, like I said, the purpleness went away and came back again, so it's not a bruise.
We're not gonna be able to fucking sleep. They're gonna want to keep her for hours.
I don't know what they're gonna do, but better to be safe than sorry, because
87's bad. Well, 90. Wait a minute. Like, why is it saying?
Stop, because London's not feeling good.
I wasn't talking to Ashley. I mean London, so I was.
You okay?
It's okay, I promise.
There it goes. 98. 98% oxygen, 104 heart rate. So she's low. I mean, 100's best, but.
It's not decorations. It's such grass, Mommy.
Yeah, it's gonna stay on there. You get to wear this super cool light sticker.
You want it on your finger or on your toe?
On your toe. Girl, look at those toes. You been playing in the sandbox?
No.
No.
My daddy's house has a sandbox that's shaped like a turtle.
Oh, my kids have that
And my
sandbox
daddy's
too.
house has a car.
Oh, that's a sweaty little toe. Let's see if we can get this to stick. Okay.
So I do. Mommy, I don't want it on my toe anymore.
It has to stay there. Leave it alone.
No.
Anyways, now that we're back home, we didn't get discharged until almost 3 in the morning, and we didn't get here until like 3:30 after I got Ashlyn back, and we went straight to bed. And I just now woke up at, well, I mean, I woke up at 9 earlier to the puppies crying to get out, so I let the puppies out, and then came back and went right back to sleep because there was no way I was to stay up after. I'm the type of person that needs like solid 10-12 hours of sleep at night to function, which last night technically I guess I got. How many did I get? Like 9 hours, so that's not that bad, but I'm just like off. I was finally getting on a good sleep schedule where I was up by like 9:30 the latest every day. So hopefully it's not screwed up and I can go back to that schedule because I was enjoying it. Instead of sleeping till 11-12 every day. Anyways, point of the video. Story time about what happened. I noticed London's lips looked a little purple yesterday, and I thought it was like a shadow, or she had eaten something, or she told me paint, like maybe it was paint because they painted that some yesterday and got into paint yesterday. So it initially didn't alarm me, and then I gave them a bath, and after the bath I noticed that it was still there, and I was like, and like nothing washed off, and I took a closer look at it because it looked darker, and I was like, that looks like a little concerning. So I was like I was a Google warrior trying to figure out what it could be, what I should do, because literally all of Google is sometimes like, oh yeah, that could be life-threatening, go to the emergency room, and other times it's like, it's probably nothing. So like every article I was reading was like no help, and I couldn't figure anything out. And then it's like there was a rash with it, and then I did the blanching test on the rash, and it was a non-blanching rash, and I've always heard like crazy stuff about those, about how like insane, like that's like this huge telltale sign for things and stuff like that. I don't know. But I eventually got in contact with a nurse, like an after-hours nurse line, because it was almost 9 o'clock by this point. And I explained to them what was going on. Like, she was acting completely fine. She wasn't like sick. She didn't have a fever. She wasn't having trouble breathing or anything like that. Like, her mouth was just purple. And the nurse line like recommended we go to the ER and have her seen, because like I was like on the fence about it. I was like, I don't want to go and it be nothing, but I also don't want to not go and it be something. So I need reassurance from someone else. Especially because like the purpleness went away, and I was like, maybe I'm just crazy. No, it's nothing. It's just like, I don't know. But then it came back, and I was like, never mind. So then we ended up going. We got to the ER at about 10 o'clock last night, after we dropped Ashlyn off at my mom's house. Yeah, we got to the ER at about 10 o'clock, and it was busy. It took forever when we were there. Like, we signed in, they checked her levels right there, and like her temp, her blood pressure, her pulse, all that stuff was fine. And then we sat down and waited, and they got called back to the triage room where they checked her, I think they checked her pulse again, or maybe not. I don't know. I think they kind of just looked at her and like asked what it was and typed it up. And then we went back out to the waiting room, and it took forever for us to get an actual room. Eventually we got a room, we went back there, waited in there for a while for the doctor to come in, talk to the doctor. We went over like medical history, any symptoms. I told him like we just got over a cold/sinus infection from a couple weeks ago. Of course, nowadays you can't have a cold without people asking you if it's COVID. Like, I'm pretty sure I know that it was just a normal cold. It wasn't COVID. It didn't have any other like COVID symptoms. It was literally just like cough, nose, throat. No loss of smell, no loss of taste, none of that stuff. It was like a basic cold/sinus infection. But it's like the world of COVID now. So we went through all of that. He looked at her. I showed him the pictures, and like basically they just couldn't figure it out. I forgot what they called it. It's like, the papers are, I'll go to the papers. So yeah, we sat in the ER for 5 hours last night, and they really need to get comfier chairs for people that are stuck sitting there so long, because oh my god, was I sore after sitting in the hospital chairs for 5 hours. And this morning I can barely walk because of my hip from it. So god, hospital chairs suck. And London was fine at first, when we first got there, but the longer we waited, she started to get really cranky, really antsy, really bored. So she was complaining a lot, and I don't want to be here. I don't want to see the doctor. I want to go back to home. I want to go home. I want to get sissy. Like, throwing a fit. And that was like, when she was doing that, by that point we had already been there for 2 hours, and I was like, you're gonna have to wait this out, kid. I'm not leaving after sitting here for 2 hours. Anyways, so her blood pressure was 108/68. I don't really know normal blood pressure, but they didn't mention it, so I'm assuming it's normal. She weighs 41 pounds and 14 ounces, almost 42 pounds. Her temperature was 98.2, so normal. Her pulse was 97. Respiration 22, oxygen saturation 98. So they had her on the oxygen or the pulse oximeter thing like the whole time when we were finally back in the room, and it would drop low and like alarm, but then when I asked him about it, he was like, yeah, that thing's really sensitive, so like if she's moving around, it's not gonna be accurate. When she was like asleep, not moving around, it was consistently staying at 94, which I thought 95 was like the end of the, I thought it was 95 to 100 that was normal range, but I guess 94 isn't really concerning either. They didn't know what it was, because she looked normal, she felt normal, all of her stats were normal, whatever. And it seems like it was just like a fluke, I guess. Because he was like, I somehow ended up on the meningitis side of Google, and he was like, yeah, there's no way it's that. And like he did like a stiffness test on her, just, it was kind of as a joke, but also to make me feel better. And he was like, yeah, I'm 100% sure that she does not have that. I was like, okay. And then of course, like one of the main things that is concerning about like purple lips is like oxygen levels. And I told him that, and he was like, well, she's been fine this whole time, and if it was like a lack of oxygen type thing, she would have declined fast. Like it would have turned into a lot more, and she would have shown a lot more than what she did if it had been like oxygen problems. He called it, what did he call it? Self-resolving. And like one of the things he was like mentioning was like if she had gotten into some medicine or some cleaning supplies and like ingested anything like that, which I said that I didn't think that she did any of that. And in the end he said he didn't think so either, because once again she would have shown like other symptoms, like she would have started to decline in some way, so it wasn't like any sort of poisoning going on. It looked like as if she had stuck her mouth in something and suctioned it for a long time. You know how it like leaves that, I've always called it a blood blister, but I don't think that's the right term. It looks like a hickey, like when you suction something to your skin and then when you take it off it looks like a hickey. It like kind of looked like that around her mouth. It was purple and it had all these tiny little red spots around it. But she was really adamant that she didn't hit her mouth, she didn't put anything in her mouth or on her mouth. And the fact that the purpleness was coming and going, I was like, I mean, that doesn't really make sense. And then everyone else is like, well, what did she eat? Maybe she ate something purple. Like London told her dad, like, I had a purple Pop-Tart, and her dad's like, oh, then maybe that's it. And I'm like, we don't even have purple Pop-Tarts. And then once I was already at the doctor's office, my grandma told my mom about how London had gotten into an ice cream cake that had like neon blue icing, and I'm like, okay, first of all, that would have been a different color. Second of all, a stain is not going to come and go either. I know it's not that. But I'm going to insert the pictures real quick of what I'm talking about. So the first picture I took, was at 7:45. And like you can see her whole mouth is purple, and you can see like the red like rashiness around it. And then the next picture I took was at 8:30, and her lips look normal pink, but you can see like the rash spots around it. And then 15 minutes later at 8:45, I took this picture where they were purple again. So it was very clear that her lips were turning like purple and that it was coming and going, which is confusing, but like, and that's kind of why he called it like self-resolving, I guess. And he was like, I mean, I see what you're talking about. I'm taking you seriously, because I was like, you know, kids have a way of pretending. I was like, you know, kids have a way of making their parents look crazy, because they could be acting like sick as a dog at home, and as soon as you get them to the doctor, they're fine and nothing's wrong with them. And he was like, I mean, I understand your concern. I took it seriously. I saw the pictures. Like, I know what you, like, I believe you, but there doesn't seem to be anything to explain it. I have it down as he was seen in the ED for concerns of purple discoloration around lips, likely due to vasoconstriction caused by no known trigger. So they called it vasoconstriction, whatever that was. Episode was self-resolving and patient did not have any respiratory symptoms. Recommend keeping a journal of when lips are turning purplish and potential triggers. Recommend following up with a provider if problems persist. Come here, London. So yeah, basically he just told me to keep an eye on it. continue to document, like take pictures anytime it happens, try and take note of what is going on that could potentially be causing it. Because like he asked, like maybe it was stress induced, like is she under a lot of stress? And I'm like, yes but no, because like yeah, her life was turned upside down, but that was months ago, and it's like we've been in this stressful situation for months, so it's not like this new stressor popped up that would have caused this. This was like an ongoing stress, so I didn't think it was related, he didn't think it was related. And like they offered to do a chest x-ray more for like peace of mind, but he said that he didn't think that it was gonna tell us anything else, because like she's not showing any other respiratory signs. So he like really didn't think that an x-ray would give us any answers, and he said that it was most likely just going to be unnecessary radiation exposure for her, but he said that they would do it if it would make me feel better. And I was like, I mean, if you really don't think it's gonna help anything, and we've been here for so long and I'm ready to go home and it's just gonna work her up, I mean, I'll just keep an eye on it and get her in with a pediatrician soon, I guess. Because like going through, I have a crazy family medical history. I've got all types, I've got a bunch of types of cancers. I've got ALS, lupus, MS. My aunt has recently been diagnosed with, what is it, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, something like that, EDS, Nutcracker syndrome. She's got a bunch of health problems. And she's had to have like a bunch of surgeries and stuff and see doctors all the time. So like I got a lot of health history, because he was asking me about autoimmune diseases, but like she doesn't have any other symptoms. It was literally just her mouth was purple and like rashy looking was the only thing.